Hi, I'm Laura Jackson, and I am from the Yellow Farmhouse Education Center, which is a nonprofit-based Stoneacres farm in Stonington. And in this video, I want to show you how to make a beautiful flower crown out of materials that you likely have in your home and in your yard. So first I'll go over what you'll need. To start, I made the base out of a wire hanger that you would get like from the dry cleaner. You can also use floral wire if you just double it up on itself to get stronger. But I recommend the clothes hanger, that works well. And then you'll need a pair of scissors, this floral wire, as I said, or any other kind of thin wire that you can cut pretty easily. And some tape, so you could use masking tape. Ideally, you could get your hands on some floral tape, which is green and like pretty stretchy. But I use this because I had it. This is like athletic tape that you use to tape up a tennis racket or a lacrosse stick. It's very similar to medical tape. So use what you have. And then you're going to need an assortment of plants and flowers. So I just did a quick walk around the farm and picked some wildflowers and some grasses and leaves, just to have a nice assortment of materials to work with. So you can start by going on a walk and sourcing all of these beautiful plants. And then the first step is to make the base of the crown. So like I said, I started with a metal hanger that I just unraveled, and it turns into kind of like a long stretch of this thick wire that you have to kind of manipulate. And then I just wound it back over itself to make a circular crown shape. And you do have to kind of gauge the size, right, by just like trying it on. So this one right here is a bit big for me. So I'd go back and adjust it to be smaller. But this other one, I got the size right just by kind of measuring it on my head and making sure that it would fit right here around the crown of my head and not fall down. And so then once I have it to the right size, I recommend just putting a little bit of that tape on the edge to keep that metal from poking into you when you wear the flower crown. So you can kind of spend a little time manipulating this to get it to the right size and a nice round shape and secure the ends. And then the next step is to start attaching the flowers and natural materials that you're using to some floral wire. So I'm going to pick a little bit of this to start. And you're almost like creating little bouquets first that you then attach to the base of the crown. So I'm going to trim off the ends. Having long stems is helpful because it gives you, room to bend it and attach it to the crown, as opposed to like little flowers with short stems that would be hard to attach. But you really only need a few inches. So I trimmed that, and then I'm going to cut, let's say, about 3 inches of this floral wire, which is very thin. It's easy to cut with scissors. And then I'm going to hold that into a little bunch or bouquet and wrap the floral wire around it to secure it as a bunch or as a bouquet, and then also to give me something to attach it to the crown with. So I'm leaving that end there. Okay? And as you start, you can pick any place, and then you just add on to it by keeping all of the plants kind of pointing in the same direction. So my crown is going clockwise. So I'm just going to lay this down, see if I like the way that looks. I think it's nice because it's actually going to cover up some of the tape that I have here. So I'm going to lay it down and then use the wire to attach it. So that is just a matter of twisting it. So you kind of have to hold it so that it's tight and secure, and then you're just twisting the wire around. And then oftentimes you might have little pieces on the end that you want to trim off, or leave them. They look kind of funky, kind of cool. Oftentimes this top part might be too loose, so once you've secured it, you might want to go in and add maybe one more piece of wire just so that it lays sort of nice and flush against the base of the crown. So I'm going to do that. And if you've ever made a wreath, it's a very similar process. So that's another option for this if you don't want to wear a flower crown. You could do the same thing to just make a really beautiful like centerpiece for your table or wreath for the door. So I'll do one more to show the process again. All right, so this time I'll take a little bit of this chamomile flower. Okay. And I'm going to trim it a little bit just because I think with all these different branches coming off, it might look too funky. So I'm going to trim just this piece here and use that to start. So in this case, I'm not making a bouquet. I'm just going to attach this piece. And take my wire, cut a little piece of that. Secure it around the stem by twisting. Oh, broke it. So you know what, I will go in and bundle it together with another piece. So did that on purpose to show you it's okay, you can fix it. All right, so now I'm going to twist it around so that these two are bundled together, and then I have this little tail here to attach it to the base. I'm going to lay it on the wreath, or on the crown rather, see how that looks. I think it's a nice color, it's adding some texture, and then I'm just going to do the same thing by twisting it around the base. Okay. And one of the things that I love about this craft is that it's really hard to mess it up. Almost any combination ends up looking really cool and beautiful. As you see, I used some white tape because that's what I had. If you had the green tape, you wouldn't see it as much, but you could certainly use the flowers to cover that up if you didn't want to see it. And you can kind of go as funky or as simple as you like. It's just a great project to make something creative out of this beautiful season that we're in. So there you go, there's my flower crown. I hope you like it, and I hope you enjoy doing this craft at home. Thanks.